Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff, and we are so pleased to be joined by the Offensive Player of the Year last season, the MVP of Super Bowl 56, Cooper Kupp from your Los Angeles Rams. Cooper, thanks so much for being on with us today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. You're joining us on behalf of Sleep Number. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first off, you're in LA. We know last year the Super Bowl was won in your home stadium. LeBron James was there to watch you guys. He broke Kareem's all-time scoring record last night. Have you met LeBron? Do you have a good LeBron story?
No, I met LeBron once just at a game we went to last year. But, obviously incredible watching him do what he did last night. I was really hoping I saw him practicing the sky hook pregame. I was really hoping he was going to break the record on a sky hook. But, the little fadeaway was nice too.
Yeah, what if he said he didn't want to have a foul shot to do it? That would have been the worst, right? If he was at the free throw line.
No, I know. That would have been the worst. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool he got done. I was actually looking. I was like, I wonder that they play the Bucks on Thursday. I wonder if it'd be worth going down to try to get a ticket for the Thursday game. But sure enough, he wasn't going to wait for Thursday.
Listen, exceeding our expectations yet again. I love that, you wanted him to do it with the sky hook. Sometimes as fans, we want you guys as athletes to have these perfect moments. People put those expectations on you hey, Cooper, can you score 2 touchdowns because it's my birthday or something? Do you how do you internalize it when it's about you?
Yeah, you just can't. I mean, especially football, there's so much out of your control. You just go out there and try to do your job. It's not like I think of some stuff like Derek Jeter, his last game. That's an incredible story. You look at Kobe Bryant, his last game. There's stuff that players have done through time that's like you said, it's storybook. But it's you just let that stuff happen. You let it come to you, and I've never gone into a game feeling like, oh, I have to do this because of some other outside situation. You're so focused on the game plan, being able to execute your job, play in and play out. It's just about taking those things one play at a time.
Cooper, were you aware at all of where you stood for the single season receiving record? And is that, probably a lot of other people were talking about it. It's something that you almost could have set last year, and in the future you could set as well. Is that something that even enters your mind?
I think you're aware of where that stuff is, going into a game or week by week. I had no idea, during the game where I was with that. You find out afterwards, where it ends up being. But we had also just lost, that game going into the playoffs. So that was the most mixed bag feeling game ever. You lose the game. You win the conference, or you win the, you win your division, but you lost the game. And you're going into playoffs. It was kind of just hey, you kind of want just the day to end and get ready to go, get the playoff games going.
Well, you did set the record for all-time yards from scrimmage for a wide receiver last year, which was pretty cool. And yeah, LeBron was very aware of when he broke the record because they stopped the game and brought everybody on the court for 10 minutes. Cooper Kupp is joining us on behalf of Sleep Number. We'll get to that in a moment. Your recovery from your ankle surgery, how is it going?
So well, yeah. No, I'm in a good place. Excited to be able to get going in this off season, get back out and playing the game I love again.
It was first, I'm sorry, Perloff. It was first diagnosed as a high ankle sprain, which obviously is one of the storylines of the Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes' high ankle sprain. Can you give us any insight into what Mahomes might be dealing with as he's trying to play through this?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. There's a high ankle sprain is a very arbitrary, thing. There's, a high ankle sprain could be any one of 4 different, different ligaments or tendons, whatever you want, 4 different ligaments that you're talking about, and it could be as damage to one of them. It could be damage to all of them, and you don't know how severe it is. So I don't know what he's going through. It looked like he's battling through some pretty good stuff. Kudos to him for what he did in the AFC Championship game. Very tough competitor. Hopefully, be in a better place after 2 weeks of letting that thing heal a little bit, and we'll see how he is on Sunday.
What is the football mindset? You have one game, Super Bowl left. There's a lot of actually receivers who are dealing with injuries. You know, Mahomes and Hurts are both dealing with injuries. Is there sort of everything on the line? I'm just going to fight through it and leave it all out there on the field mentality for, you know, obviously the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, there's so many guys that happens to guys every year where someone gets hurt, you get hurt, and you've got 2 weeks to try to get back, to try to play in this game that's, you don't know how many of these opportunities, if you ever get this opportunity again to play in a Super Bowl. We had guys, last year that were dealing with injuries, and, in 2 weeks, they're doing things to try to get back that, it's just like it's a 4-month injury and you're taking 2 weeks and doing everything you can to get back. I mean, you have so much respect for these guys and the pain that guys are willing to put themselves through to try to get themselves in a position to go out and be an asset for the team. And it's tough. It's really tough. But you really can't speak on the importance of the stepping on the field and the adrenaline that you get the first time in the huddle. It seems like if you can just get yourself to the game and get on the field, your body just kind of snaps into place.
Yeah, that's the difference between the professional athletes and the people like us. I don't know if the adrenaline would take over as much to let us play. Cooper Kupp is joining us on behalf of Sleep Number. We'll get to that in a moment. And I hate to keep asking about injuries. That was kind of a theme, though, of the Rams season, unfortunately, this year. And Matthew Stafford with a spine injury, 2 concussions. I mean, you talk about guys and how they have to just work to get back on the field. As far as his future, are you concerned for him as a teammate? Because on the outside, those look like pretty serious injuries.
Yeah, well, it's really, that's about him and his family and being able to make that decision. And, I trust in him and his, as they work through that they're going to make a decision that's best for them. And he obviously, absolutely, he's making his decision for his, what's best for him and his family. And that's so much more important than any of the football stuff. So I know that, he's going to put that stuff first as well. So if he's out there, it's because he feels good about where he's at with that stuff. And I trust him in that. And obviously want the best for him. Excited, have him back and ready to go for this next year and, go pursue another championship.
After the season, Coach Sean McVay talked about, hey, maybe I'm going to step away. It seemed tired. And I think it might have been the Super Bowl when late into the offseason. Was it really hard to recover from, how long the Super Bowl took? It seemed like Coach McVay and maybe the team, that took a lot out of them heading into last season. Did you feel any of that?
Yeah, it is long. I mean, it was literally the longest season ever in the NFL, right? Like, it's the first time you got 17 weeks. It was literally the longest season ever. And you play all the way through that thing. It is crazy how quickly the turnaround is to OTAs and, things are going back again. You're trying to recover your body, but also prepare for the next year. It is tough. There's definitely some challenges there, but, I think the amount, I don't know that there's anything, I guess I can only speak on myself. I don't know if there's anything I would have done different in terms of how I treated that time. Everyone seemed like, you kind of snap out of the Super Bowl stuff and you're like, okay, we're going. It's time for this next season. There's so much work that went into, preparing for the 2023 season, or 2022 season. Sorry. There's so much work that went into preparing for the 2022 season. And, you obviously the results don't show that, but it wasn't for a lack of effort and respect for what this game is about and the work that it takes. It just unfortunately wasn't, the results didn't match the effort. And so now you move into 2023 and you refine some of the things that you did, the processes that you had in the last off season, and put yourself in a position to go and pursue this next one.
Cooper, we'll ask you about Sleep Number in just a moment. I know we only have you for a few more minutes, but if you could go back a few years when the NFL players had to vote on whether you wanted to add an extra game and add that extra game to the season, if you could go back then, would you still vote to have the 17 weeks, or is it just too long?
It is long. When that was brought up in the CBA, I do believe that the NFL kind of led players to believe that this wasn't something that was going to be done soon. It was just, you have a 10-year agreement. It was something that was, in play, in the future. it happened much quicker than I think a lot of the players anticipated it happening. But I do think this is eventually, like, we were going to get here. We're going to get to this place at some point. And it happened. You can look back on it and try to, second guess all the stuff that went on in that year, and all the decisions. But, here we are, we're in this place. Guys are playing football. I think the product that you see on the field is maybe, even with all the stuff that's going on, all the stuff with referees, with all this different stuff that people are saying is affecting the game. At the end of the day, it seems like, we're putting together a great product on the field. It's good football, really good games. And I think the talent across this league is some of the best it's ever been. So, I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to be able to be against these guys.
Okay, so Sleep Number, the official sleep wellness partner of the NFL, you're partnering with them. Okay, how many hours of sleep are you getting?
Yeah, well, it's not just about. I think that's really, I think, why I'm here. It's not about just the amount of time that you get. It's the quality. I'm very intentional with how I work out, the way I spend my day. You break yourself down during the day. I think a lot of people think you go to the gym to get strong. You go to the gym to break your body down, and then being intentional with the recovery, how you're fueling yourself and how you're sleeping. We're intentional about how we work out. We're intentional about how we eat, but then we think we can just get 8 hours of sleep and say it's good. And that's not really how it works. It's being intentional, saying, hey, how good can I get? What's the quality of sleep that I can get to be able to, prime myself to be able to go back out there and do it again the next day. And 80% of NFL players use Sleep Number beds, and I think that kind of speaks to just kind of the importance of this industry, which is so performance based, and guys understanding it's not just about getting to sleep on time. It's about making sure that when I wake up, I'm ready to go again. And I think that's something that Sleep Numbers help a lot of people with.
Cooper, can you give me permission as an athlete to nap more often? I feel like football players nap.
I am pro nap. I do stare on the ground. I'm a pro nap person. I think you gain a little. You don't need to be taking an hour-long nap in the middle of the day, though. Give yourself a 10, 15, 20-minute nap and get ready to go.
But how do you do that? Because once I'm going to do a 15-minute nap, and then 2 hours later I wake up and I don't even know where I am.
This is the secret. You can't get too comfortable. Definitely never nap with blankets on. And what you can do, an old trick, is you hold a pin, and when the pin drops out of your hand, it's time to wake up. Right? So you hold a pin and fall asleep. You drop the pin, it's wake up time.
That is some practical advice.
And if I do that, will I have your athleticism? Because right now it's not working.
I can't promise you. I can't promise you that.
Okay.
Results may vary, I think is how they put it. Cooper Kupp is the MVP of Super Bowl 56 and the Offensive Player of the Year last year. On behalf of Sleep Number, Cooper, thanks so much for the time. We'll talk to you soon.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me.